Good afternoon. This is Mitch from the Lamppost Coffee Shop coming to you live from the Austin area. It's 2:03 Central Standard Time. Coming to you for another hour or so. We'll spend an hour talking about YouTube, social media, whatever else may come up. We hope you're having a good day today. So far, anyway, the coffee shop is gotten kind of busy over the last few minutes. It was kind of quiet there for a while, but then, of course, as luck would have it, when I want to start streaming live, it's going to get crowded, a little bit more noisy, so I apologize for that, but we'll do the best we can. We hope things are going well for you today. I got to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, I think my live stream is on its way. I have to be positive. I began this thing as an experiment back in October because I was not very smart. My idea was, can you create a channel from scratch on YouTube with mainly a live stream? Can you start from scratch, start a channel, and just do live broadcasts, do live streams? That was my question. Well, to be honest with you, I've come to find out that because of the way the algorithm works and because of the way YouTube works, that's not going to happen. That's not the way it goes. Unless, now there is a caveat. There is a caveat. If you have an audience already in place, if you have a large list of followers on another social media like Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, or you're a celebrity of some kind, if you're a celebrity, perhaps you're a famous author or you're a singer, whatever, an entertainer, comedian. If you've got a following already in place, then perhaps you can start a YouTube channel from scratch, starting at ground zero, and start with a live stream. But for most of us, who nobody knows, we're not celebrities, nobody cares about us, nobody knows us, they don't follow us, they know nothing about us. Start off from scratch with a live stream is not going to work. And I have discovered that. So I want to be clear about that right up front, that my experiment was a success in the sense that I have learned a few things. And this is live stream number 52 since October. I started off doing it every day during the week, weekdays. Started out at 9 a.m. and then I moved it to 10 a.m. and then finally a couple of weeks ago I moved it to the afternoons, 2 p.m. And I started out doing it 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and there were a couple of reasons for that. Number one, I wanted the experience. I needed the practice. I needed to put in the hours. I needed to learn how to set up my kit because I'm coming to you live from a public location, coming to you live from a coffee shop. So there's some logistics involved, and it took me a good couple of weeks to figure all that out. And then there's coming to you live from a public place, there's the idea of the noise level and the audio. You want to have good audio, or the best audio that you can create. And so it took me a while to figure that out. If you go back and watch those first 2 or 3 weeks of my live stream, you'll see me struggling with the technical aspects, the logistics. So I needed the time to put in to get all that worked out. So it's really been good, and I'm kind of thankful that I didn't have any viewers, or very few viewers, and didn't have people flooding my chat asking me a bunch of questions because I was too busy trying to figure out what else to do on the technical side of things. So now this is my 52nd stream, and I'm starting to get a handle on how things work. I brought in some additional lighting to help with the lighting, and I hope I've got the audio working as good as possible, although I still tend to tinker with it to try to get it better, but I do have the audio at least sounding adequate. So what I'm saying is it's been good from the standpoint of the experience of putting together the logistics of doing a live stream and getting comfortable, again, speaking on camera, speaking on a broadcast that is live. I used to be a radio disc jockey when I was right out of college, and so I do have a little bit of experience of speaking on a mic, not so much speaking on camera, and so it takes practice. And so it's been good for me to learn how to do this in a very quick way. That's why I wanted to do it daily, 5 days a week. And so I've got 52 episodes in, or let's say a year's worth. If you do it weekly, I've got 1 year of experience behind me of a weekly broadcast, which most live streams, a lot of them will go weekly. But since I was doing them daily, I was able to get a quick head start. So what I've learned is that unless you're a celebrity or you've got an audience already in place, you cannot start a channel with a live stream. The live stream should come later. You've got to find the audience first. The audience comes first, and then the live stream and the other various kinds of collaborations and things that you can do with your YouTube channel come later. So the first thing we got to do is find an audience. So what I did, if you followed me at all or seen me at all on these live streams, you know that whenever I have a question or want to check things out, I will go to Mr. GPT. So that's what I did. Just to recoup, my name is Mitch. For the reset here, I'm coming to you live from Lamppost Coffee Shop in Austin, Texas on a nice sunny day. We talk about social media, YouTube, and anything else that may come up. So we're here now for the next few weeks. We're going to go Tuesdays and Thursdays, twice a week, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, my live stream just for some reason cut out on me. Shows an excellent connection. This is another problem I've had coming from a coffee shop, is that I'm reliant on the Wi-Fi, and I keep an eye on the status, the stream status, and all of a sudden it just went dead. So figure that out. But now looks like we hopefully are back up and running. So it shows excellent right now. Stream health is good. So I apologize. Where was I? Oh, I was talking about the reality is the 52 live streams I've been doing over the last 2 or 3 months. The views have been very minor. I mean, really low, like nobody. And so I was asking myself, you would think even the odd person on YouTube would come along and maybe stop by and say hi. But I was struggling to get any views at all. I mean, we're talking about a big fat zero on a lot of the live streams. Nobody. And so I knew that the algorithm was working against me in some way, or I was not doing something particularly right. And I went into ChatGPT and I asked Mr. GPT to help me out. And this is what I discovered as I started doing some research. When a channel, first of all, when a channel gets literally 0 views or low views or even 0, your videos aren't being surfaced at all. And I think that's been my problem. YouTube has not even been pushing my live streams or my videos at all. Been a big fat 0. It's just, I've been making this content and it's just been sitting on my channel and going nowhere. Not low impressions, none. When YouTube gives you 0 impressions, the algorithm isn't testing your channel with any audience. This usually means either the channel is still too new for YouTube to trust it, the topics aren't tied to any existing search behavior, the titles, thumbnails aren't giving the system any clues, or the videos are categorized in a way that confuses YouTube. But one of the biggest ones, and this is the part most creators don't realize, is lives without an audience, live streaming without an audience, almost never gets pushed out after the fact. So, you got to think about that. Live streams without an audience almost never get pushed out after the fact. Now that's a nail in the coffin of my experiment of trying to start a channel without an audience using live streams. It's telling me here it can't be done unless you have an audience. Now if you have an audience, you know, if you're a celebrity or whatever, have an audience from another platform, then you might could do it. YouTube treats live streams differently. If a stream has low retention but few chat messages and no viewers, the replay gets suppressed. It's not a penalty, it's just data starvation. So what it's telling me here is that over the last 52 live streams, I've been getting no data to the algorithm to help it get me where it needs to go. So the data that I'm creating now, the content that is going out now on YouTube is not going anywhere because the algorithm doesn't know where to send it. There's not enough data there for them to know. I know it sounds crazy, but it's because it's a live stream. The live stream almost never gets pushed out unless there's an audience. So, since I don't have an audience, it's not getting pushed out. And since it's not being pushed out, I'm not getting an audience. So you've got this circular rotation going on, and the big key here is the audience. You've got to have an audience. And without an audience, you're just going nowhere. You're spinning your wheels. And I feel like that's what I've been doing. I've been spinning my wheels. Based on what I've seen, it says here, ChatGPT is telling me, you're not doing anything wrong per se. You're simply uploading content that the system doesn't know who to show it to. So, my next question then was, I was going to show you here. Where did I go? Here we go. Sorry about that. Let me repeat that. You're not doing anything wrong. You're simply uploading content that the system doesn't know who to show it to. I've got a fairly broad niche. My niche is broad. You talk about YouTube content creation. That's great for you as a creator, but to YouTube, you look like general channel with no clear viewer profile. And when YouTube doesn't know who your viewer is, its default is to not push it. So that's been my problem. The other thing here is live replays rarely perform. Every major creator agrees a live stream replay without an audience almost always dies on arrival. So that's been my problem. Pretty much spells it out. Now, of course, Mr. GPT wants to give me a pat on the back, so it's going to give me a little positive information. It says, you're not failing. You're just early. And you're doing the hardest possible content format, daily live streams, on a brand new channel with a broad topic. You're actually doing something smart without realizing it. You're building a body of work, getting a voice, you're developing a catalog, So when I do get an audience, I will have at least some content on my channel. I'll have some things there. And I will have 52 live streams of experience behind me, so that when I do get an audience, I won't be fumbling around like a newbie. I'll know kind of what I'm doing. I'll have all the kinks worked out. So basically what we're talking about here is the last 52 streams, the 52 streams that I've been here and working so hard and putting in so much time. It's been like a big dress rehearsal. It's like rehearsing for a Broadway play, and or perhaps rehearsing for a movie, and you spend weeks and weeks and weeks learning, weeks and weeks practicing, weeks and weeks rehearsing before you get to the big show. And that's what I've been doing. I think I've got 52 episodes, 52 live streams of practice, of rehearsing. And of course, I tend to get better and better as time goes on. That's what we all do. We all will get better as time goes on. So it just, it just finally starts to sink in, the reality. I have to bonk myself on the head. It finally sunk in. Live streams are not a way to build a YouTube channel. You've got to have an audience. The audience has to come first. So if I know that, if I understand that, then what do I do from now on? What's my next step? Well, my next step was, again, to go and get some research done and ask GPT to give me some advice in Perplexity and some of these other websites, and I've come out with these 3 things that I'm going to do. This is the answer. So if you've got a problem like I do, you're getting no views, you're doing a live stream or even creating videos and you're getting no views, you're getting no traction, then maybe these things will help. Go to my trusty iPad. Number 1, solve one specific problem for one specific person. One problem for one person. So if you're a person watching this right now, and your problem is you're not getting any views, or your videos are not getting any retention, or you're not gaining any traction, then step back and figure out what one problem can you solve for one person. That's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to solve a problem for you and me watching this video. We're dead on arrival. We've got no views. We've got no audience. What do? Well, we try to find a problem for one person and try to fix it. Pick a narrow viewer and help them with something they actively care about. So the next video you make, try to narrow down that topic and narrow down that viewer for one problem. One problem and one viewer. Try to help them out. That's how watch time, comments, and return viewers begin. They'll begin to start to come back. So that's one thing I'm going to do from now on, is when I create a video or begin to add content to my other 2 channels, I'm going to try to narrow this thing down to a single problem for a single person and not be so broad. We're going to take that broad idea, that broad topic, and we're going to narrow it down and be a lot more specific. We're going to find us one person, one problem to deal with. That's the first thing. What else can we do? Package before we publish. We've talked about this before. We've talked about doing the title and the thumbnail before we publish. Before we even think about doing content, we want to get that title and that thumbnail done first. It will help us determine what we're going to do in the content. Titles and thumbnails aren't decoration, they're the delivery system. Every video should answer, why should I care? What do I do if I click? What information is it going to be worth my time if I click? What tension or curiosity is unresolved? Packaging doesn't earn the click. If packaging doesn't earn the click, the content never gets a chance. If nobody sees it, then what good is the content? What good is my live stream if nobody's seeing it? So I've got to think about packaging before I publish. Start with the title and the thumbnail, and that will help focus the content. All right, so what else can we do? We can show up consistently in one recognizable format. Keep the format consistent. Don't change things around. I always write something under my head. Move this dang thing, move this down out of the way. That's one good thing that I've done with my live streams is that the format has remained fairly consistent. It's all been fairly the same. All 52 live streams have been basically organized and formatted the same way. I've pretty much done the same thing for 52 times in a row. So same topic lane, same general structure, same vibe. So I've been pretty consistent. So I feel good about that. It trains both the audience and the algorithm. People want to know what they're getting next. Everything else, shorts, trends, collaborations, and I'll add live streams as well. All of those things come next, after you build the audience. That is the big key. We're pretty much stuck and pretty much in the mud unless we have an audience. And the way we're going to get an audience is do these three things. Package before we publish. Show up consistently in one recognizable format. Package before we publish. And solve one problem at a time for one person. If we do those three things, I think we'll be a lot better off. That's my idea, and I'm sticking to it. So, what do you think? Are we on the right track? Get in the chat and let me know what you think. Drop in the comments. Let me know what you think. This is stuff I'm still trying to learn myself and get my handle on, because I've had a big fat zero in terms of my live streams, and it's because I didn't have the audience. It's like trying to pull a horse with a cart. I've got it backwards. You know, I've got to start off trying to build the audience first, and then do live streams after that. So I've learned my lesson that you have to have an audience before you can do that live stream. In fact, I think the live stream is basically there as a supporting role to building your channel. So I've got to do those three things. I've got to sort of pick that one problem. Now, when we think about dealing with a person's problems, oftentimes they're our problems. So we shouldn't have any trouble coming up with a problem of a viewer, because that problem will often be our problem. So I could ask myself, what's my problem? And today, my problem I'm dealing with today, my problem is I'm trying to do something that's really not possible. That's why the frustration can start to set in. But I knew up front it was going to take time. I knew up front that it was going to take time to build a channel, and I knew up front it was going to take time to get comfortable with doing a live stream, and it was going to take time to work out all the logistics. So I'm a realist in that point. I've never been really discouraged or disappointed. It's more about trying to discover the reasons why things happen. And so when I was looking at my analytics and wondering why my views were down, I was wondering, it was like I was making all this content and I was working every day on a live stream and it was going nowhere. Well, now I know why. Because the algorithm was just letting it sit there on my channel. It didn't know where to push it. And not only that, live streams, in terms of the replay of the live stream, it's almost non-existent. So not only does the live stream itself, when it's live, not get pushed, but any replays are not going to be pushed. So it's not a big mystery. It's pretty straightforward. Now there was a new upgrade to YouTube, allowing us to stream both horizontally and vertically, to where we can also live stream into short form verticals. And I don't know if it's working or not, because when I look at the feed, let me show you. Let me pull up the display here. Where is it? Alright, display. Here we go. When you look at the display, you can see up here is the streaming that's going on right now. This is the streaming display. And then right here, they've added this over here is the vertical format. But all I get is this winding wheel. The left side over here shows that we're streaming fine, and you'll see the stream health shows excellent. But under the vertical short form over here, it's not showing anything. So I don't know what's going on there. So I don't know if I'm streaming both short and long form at the same time. That's the idea. And ideally, the live stream, when we go both formats, the live stream will end up in a person's shorts. As they're streaming, as they're running through shorts and scrolling through shorts, they'll come across the live stream feed. That's the idea. So I guess this is YouTube's attempt to be more like TikTok in the fact that they're showing live streaming in the vertical format. That's the only thing that I can figure out. So the streaming, you see, the health is excellent. Streaming fine. So I did want to show you that though. because it's a new feature to YouTube where you can stream both horizontally in the regular format as well as vertically in the short form. So we were able to stream both shorts and longs at the same time. And I hope it's working. So, well, just to recap, my name is Mitch. I'm coming to you live from the Lamppost Coffee Shop in the Austin, Texas area. And these live streams are here for us to hang out, chat, talk about social media, talk about YouTube, talk about building our channels. And I'm learning that that's a very broad subject. It's something that needs to be narrowed down. Each live stream, I need to come up with one problem. If we go back to what we've been talking about, each live stream, I need to come up with one problem for one person and let that be the topic for the day. Instead of these broad topics of, these general ideas, need to narrow things down. So what's your problem today? What's your problem? Let me know. Get into chat, make a comment, let me know what the problem is. Maybe we can work on it together. I've shared with you my problem. My problem for the day is no views, and so I'm trying to fix that. And I'm going to do that, number one, by spending more time making videos and less time live streaming. That's why I cut back to 2 days a week. Now, I know you may be asking yourself, well, if live streaming is no good until you get an audience, why are you going to keep doing it twice a week? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one is it continues to give me the experience of live streaming. It helps me build to my strengths. It helps me develop more of a way to engage in a live stream. It gives me the practice of setting up and going through the logistics and speaking on camera and looking at the lens and trying to connect one-on-one with the viewer, which would be you and me, making that connection. It's all practice. The more times you do it, the easier it gets. And so I want to get the hours in. And so twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 p.m., I'll be coming to you live, either from this coffee shop or some other coffee shop, and we'll go live because it will continue to help me selfishly get better at it. That's one reason. The other reason is it forces me to think about content and think about, as we've said, think about what might be a problem someone is having and how can we address that. What kind of a problem would someone be having that we can maybe address and come up with some solutions, work on together. So that's the other reason, is I hope it will be a help. I hope I can provide some valuable some valuable information, some value. I want to add some value to the content. So that's the other reason. It's forcing me to think about how to add value in terms of content for a live stream. So I'll be sticking with it Tuesdays and Thursdays now, twice a week, and we'll see how it goes. And then the other days of the week, I'll be creating videos that hopefully will start to attract an audience. And then once I do get an audience and I start getting some people to drop into chat, then at least I will be up and running. I will have the content on the channel. I will have the experience behind me. I will have worked out all the logistics, and I will have become more comfortable talking on camera, and hopefully we'll have more to share, have more experience, more things to share. So that gets us to my notes here. I've got a couple of videos that we can watch before we reboot here. Let me come down to, let's take a look at Big E here. Big E is a YouTuber, been online for a while, and I came across him yesterday, and he brings up an idea that I've often struggled with, and that's about niche, narrowing the niche down on your channel. Should you concentrate on only one niche, or can you be more broad in your approach on your channel? Can you provide more different kinds of content on your channel, or do you need to be narrowed down, focused? And so I thought we would get a glimpse of what he thinks and talk about it from there.
The version of the internet that so many people have already learned how to win on, it's dying. And if you're playing by the old rules, you're about to feel it. For the first time in years, the version of the internet that's... the version...
All right, we'll get started here in a minute. Here it comes.
The version of the internet that so many people have already learned how to win on, it's dying. And if you're playing by the old rules, you're about to feel it. For the first time in years, especially with the launch of vertical platforms and all the advanced algorithms, creators don't necessarily have to fit into a singular box anymore, and platforms are rewarding it. And what I mean for years is there's been this general idea that if you don't tie yourself down to one specific niche immediately, or one platform or one persona, that you're just screwed. The thing is, everything's changing. The internet isn't asking who you are anymore. It's asking how real you're willing to be. We've all seen over the last few years more and more creators get rewarded for being less scripted, over polished, well produced, and just being more raw and authentic and relatable. As where before, if you weren't sticking with one thing or weren't optimizing your videos to be like go, 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 attention span, sit your fucking viewers down through some ads. If you didn't do that before, it was like career suicide in content creation. And truth be told, I think that's why I've had such a crash out these last couple years, like struggling so hard to find out what I'm supposed to be when all these algorithms would pull and push you in different directions. One of my biggest goals as a creator has been able to just across all platforms be the same person that makes skits or gives informative, helpful videos like this to people, but then also can turn around and play some games on stream to the community. And as so many of us have studied and stressed the algorithms, it just puts so much pressure to where you didn't feel like you had the freedom to do that. Maybe I'm being a little cynical, but that just sounds like shit to me. This idea that you can't have fun showing multiple aspects of your life, like getting creative in multiple ways and sharing that side of your creativity. Like, I think it's so dumb over the years that we've written this rule or law that I can't make a video talking about current trends and topics and things going on, but then also share a funny gaming clip, because that would just ruin my algorithm and the metadata of my channels. God, that shit sounds so fucking stupid. But over the last couple of years, I've mentioned this in a few videos, we've been seeing it here on YouTube, for example. More raw, authentic creators come out and just absolutely blow up. No over editing, long videos, just them being them. And then what I've noticed over the last few months as I've been playing Battlefield and streaming that and just kind of making random update shit around the house is like, a lot of it's changing, not just YouTube. Even some creators that I follow on Instagram, for example, some dope fitness influencers, I've seen them move into the space where they've given financial advice and other things that they also have a background in. And what do you know? Like, people are actually interested to see more of that side of them. In the last year, we've been seeing that on YouTube as well. Like podcasts, talking head videos with people just sharing their raw thoughts. I mean, fuck, Boys Critical just won Content Creator of the Year. The dude just has his own personality, sits down in front of a camera, just yaps about some shit. There's no fancy editing or jump cuts or pauses. We're just seeing more and more messy content do well, which is so sick.
Well, so what do you think? I don't know. I feel conflicted because I'm getting other information from elsewhere as you do your research and your studying. And I guess it's a problem that will continue to go on, and it's this idea of how narrow should our niche be? Can we have more than one niche on the channel? Can we just randomly, put random content on the channel, or does it have to be more specific? Well, we just talked about how to get views according to what Mr. GPT tells us, and I would think he knows more than I do. I mean, he may be wrong, but he's saying one problem for one person. That's pretty narrow. That's a narrow niche, rather than just putting all kinds of different content on the channel. So this guy tends to think that things are changing and that you can be more broad in your niche. You don't have to have one specific niche. So we've got a problem going on here. On one hand, he thinks we can be very broad, and on the other hand, I'm getting the information that we need to be more narrow. So where do you fall in this issue? I'm not sure.
Because over the last year, I've been able to find out so much more about creators around me, creators that I've followed, like finding out certain musicians or athletes or photographers are also in the battlefield as well. It's sick. Or tech lifestyle creators posting more fitness. We've been seeing my boy Jayhawk do that over the last year. Streamers turning into educators and commentators and storytellers. It just feels like moving into 2026, it's the end of like creators having to pick one lane and just sticking with it. And more so just seeing an entire roadmap, which is huge and encouraging, because that means so many people are going to have an opportunity to break out this year. And I can't tell you how fucking pumped I am about that. I'm just so over having to tell new creators the advice is like, niche down, pick the one thing that you know you're going to want to do in 5 years. Like, how dog shit is that? Like, hey dude, even though you don't have a following yet and you don't know what you're going to enjoy in 5 years, what you're going to want to challenge yourself with in 5 years, but pick one specific thing, just one thing, and be super creative with it every single day for the next 5 years. That just sounds so boring. Dude. At the end of the day, algorithms have gotten so good at this point to feeding content to the right viewer at the right time. It gives you so much of that freedom. Like, instead of just trying to go viral in something over and over and over again, it's more about the watch time, the returning viewers, the community interaction. And when you start doing different things on one platform and more people show up on average, it just encourages them to push you more. It's like the current biggest advantage anybody has isn't the tech, the gear, the editing, the knowledge to do things, but just the ability to be a fucking human being. And man,
well, here's the problem though. I see what he's saying, and I was feeling the same way because my interests are so broad. I have a lot of interest in doing a lot of things. I'm an artist, and I've got other things in my daily life I like to share in terms of vlog. And, so the problem is, let's say you've got your channel here. All right. Here's your channel. And you're going to upload, a bunch of videos. You're going to upload a bunch of videos, and they're all different. The videos don't have any rhyme or reason. They're just random. Some of them are about your personal life. Some of them are about your art or your music. Some of them are about, your relationships. They're all over the place. And so let's say you've got a video that goes out to all these places, and let's say one of them really blows up. Let's say one of them really blows up and becomes successful. Let's say you get 200K views on a particular video. Well, when that person goes to your channel, what are they going to expect to see in other videos? They're going to want the same content that they saw here. They're going to go to your channel and they're going to want more. But what are they going to see? They're going to see all this other crap that has absolutely nothing to do with them. So all of those views are basically going to become dead, and they may even give you some subs, but they're going to be dead because when they go to your channel, they're going to be looking for similar content, and then what they're going to see is all of this crap that has no interest to them at all. And let's say this video blows up, and they go to your channel, and they want to find similar content, but all they see is all this other crap. So the problem is, you gain viewers perhaps, and you may have some channel subs counts go up, and you may have your videos, you may have some of them go viral, some of them may blow up, but in terms of the long term, that's short-term thinking. In terms of building your channel up over the long haul, it's not going to do you much good, because these people who this video attracts, this viewer is going to maybe subscribe to your channel, and they're going to want similar content that attracted them in the first place. They don't give a rip about all this other stuff. All they want is what attracted them in the first place. And so that's the problem with having a broad niche. On the other hand, if you have a single niche, oh, come on. It's not hidden. What are you talking about? Hidden where? Sorry about that. Trying to figure out. Oh, come on. Give me a break here, will you? There we go. As I was saying, if we have one niche that is narrowed down and all of our videos are the same within that niche, they're all similar. They're all the same, tied to that one niche. Then if we have one that blows up and they go to our channel and they want more content, then they've got all of this content that is of interest to them. The interesting thing about that video that got them interested in our channel, all of this other content is for them to see. So there's a big difference between having one niche and having many. So I think you know where I lean in this discussion. I think what I've learned is I'm going to go with most of the good advice that I've been hearing in terms of these niches, and it's to narrow things down to one niche. Now, if I suppose you are, again, you're a popular channel and you've got 100,000 subs or millions of views, then maybe you can start branching off. But even then, I'm not so sure that's a good idea.
Fucking struggling with that for a while now. That's all I've ever wanted to do. For years, I've just had so many conversations with so many creators, and I know how the game is played. Like, I've known the rules for a while now. I've helped so many creators and channels out there with a lot of their back-end stuff. And I've always been so good at knowing how to tell somebody or educate somebody or help somebody or get paid to help somebody do the thing that has made sense for years. But as you can clearly tell, I suck at it because I just hate that idea. I hate the idea of trying to grow a following in something and trying to hide off a whole entire side of me. And like, sure, there's ways to like sprinkle it in and like show a little bit of that, but like, fuck that, dude. I've never been a fan of the stereotype of one thing versus another thing. Like, the reality is I'm somebody who collects sneakers but also wears fucking cowboy boots. I'm somebody who plays video games for a living, technically, but also too, I push the idea that you shouldn't just be sitting on your ass all the time. You should be challenging yourself. You should be moving and being active. I'm a content creator who posts on social media, but I hate social media.
Maybe that's the problem. He hates social media. Maybe that's the problem. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know what you think.
Involved from any of
what I think is his interest and what he, and I was the same way. I'm in the same boat because I have a lot of different interests. That's why I have 3 YouTube channels, because each of those channels is an interest of mine, and I can't combine all of those interests into one channel and have any success, not long term. So I get it. I understand where he's coming from. But it's just not going to work. It's not the way YouTube works. I mean, it's like when you go to McDonald's, you expect a certain thing. You expect a certain kind of food. You expect a certain kind of atmosphere. And it's what brings you back to McDonald's. There's something about McDonald's that you're attracted to that brings you back again and again and again and again. Now, if McDonald's were to start trying to change things around, what would happen? Well, it happened to Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel tried to change their logo. They tried to change the interior of their restaurants. And what happened to their logo? I mean, what happened to their brand? What kind of a pushback did they get from the general public? So I get where he's coming from, but in terms of growing a channel, I've got to go with the thinking that it's got to be a narrowed down niche. It's got to be something you're passionate about that you can narrow down far enough to gain an audience, and then start bringing more and more of your personality into that niche. And there's ways that you can do it. You don't have to be totally cutting parts of your life off in terms of that niche. But I do think we've got to, especially if we're new and we're trying to build a channel, we've got to find one problem for one person and try to solve that problem for that person. That's the way we're going to build an audience, as opposed to just uploading content that is random or has no particular similarity. There's no niche that is bringing all the content together. So I get it where he's coming from, though. I really do understand that, but I just think he's going to have a long way to go if he is going to think that having multiple niches on a channel is going to work, because I've tried it and it doesn't work. So I mean, I had a channel with about 6 different niches on it, and I had all my videos organized under each niche, and it just doesn't work. It really doesn't work. I mean, when you watch a popular show, you watch it because it becomes familiar. You know what to expect. There's things about that show that attract you and keep you coming back for the next week and for the next episode. So consistency and there's a certain kind of sameness that settles in and makes you comfortable, and as a viewer you know what to expect when you go back. But put yourself in the case of a viewer who really likes a video that you've posted about a particular topic, and man, they really enjoy the video and they like your presence, and so they go to your channel looking for similar content and they can't find it. It's a one-off, and so they go to your channel and they look at all this other stuff that they have no interest in at all. What's that viewer going to do? Well, they're not coming back. So that's not what we want. We want viewers coming back. And I think we're naive if we think that viewers are going to be interested in me and everything that I do. As a person, as a human, I'm much more complex. I'm much more nuanced than just one video. But from a viewer standpoint, they're the same way, and they only have a narrow frame of focus. They have a narrow interest that got them interested in a video that I posted, and so when they come to my channel, they're not going to be interested in all the other things of my personal life or my viewpoint or my other topics. They're going to be interested in what they're interested in, and they're going to be looking for similar content. So I think the approach perhaps is to, if you've got more than one or two passions, if you've got one or two projects or one or two things that you're really interested in, then start multiple channels. Start one, build an audience, get it monetized, get it up and running, and then start another one where you've narrowed down that niche to one problem, one person. That's my 2 cents worth, and I'm sticking to it. So I don't know if you agree or not. What do you think? Let me know what you think. Well, let's see. What else are we going to talk about? Are we about done for the day? I've shared with you my problem for the day, and my problem, I hope I can fix it over the coming weeks. And hopefully my live stream will reflect that, because we'll be talking about some success in the future. And hopefully we will fix this problem of having no viewers and nobody in chat, because we do want to be a successful channel. So I'll be back. Let's see, today's Thursday. I'll be back next Tuesday. It's Christmas week. We're just going to have one live stream next week, because I think Christmas falls on Thursday. So I'll be back Tuesday of next week. That'll be December the, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, somewhere around the 23rd. Tuesday next week, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be back with you live from the Lamppost Coffee Shop here in the Austin, Texas area. I hope you've had some value out of this mess today. And again, stay tuned. Let me know what you think, and I hope you'll come back, and we'll continue to talk about social media, YouTube, and all those kinds of things. So until I see you again next week, go out and have a good weekend. Do something nice for someone today, and we'll see you next week.
And when